Once upon a time, there lived a rich woman called Adaku. "Give me all the coke," she said to the shop attendant. "What?" The girl was confused. "Lady, you heard me right. In fact, give me everything, every food items in your store." That's Adaku for you. Known far and wide for her extravagant lifestyle and insatiable appetite for shopping. If there is something to buy, a store full of red meat and fish, Adaku will buy them all, whether she needs it or not. Even onto her closet, they are not just full of clothes she never wore, nor shoes she never touched, but with additional stacks of assorted biscuits and packets of lollipops. A kitchen filled with staff, always cooking for her. For Adaku is always eating, if not banga and starch, it is jollof and chicken and lots more. Her mouth never stops eating as she is obsessed with food. One afternoon, Adaku with her driver, Mr. Okon, went with many empty trucks to a large supermarket in the village. Adaku is here for only one mission: to empty the store of all their food items. She walked into the store confidently, a long beaded necklace swinging with every step. "Where is the store manager?" "The cash is in the trunk of my car, and I'm buying all the food items in the store today," she said into the microphone in her hand. An elderly man got angry as the shop attendant tried to get them out of the shop. "I have much right to buy anything I want from this store. I'm not going anywhere," the man shouted as they dragged him out of the store. "Excuse me," a handsome man named Bowale said to Adaku. "My name is Bowale. I just opened a gym in this village. I would love for you to come and check it out." "Gym?" Adaku laughed, but as she stared at the handsome man in front of her, she seems to have another motive. "Okay, I will," she replied. The store manager's mouth opened in disbelief as he looked at the truck full of cash. "You can keep all," Okon said to the store manager. "Madam only pay in cash." So the trailers began to move out of the supermarket, driving home all the food items Adaku has bought. Suddenly, Adaku signaled them to stop. She just spotted a woman selling roasted plantain on the roadside. "I want all the roasted plantains." So that day, they waited for the woman to finish roasting all the plantain. Exhausted, they all got home. But Adaku is never tired. She loves shopping, she loves eating, and never cares about her body count. As she laid on the bed that night, she thought of the handsome man she had met earlier in the day, Bowale. When day breaks, for the first time, Adaku was not shouting for food. Rather, she is getting ready to meet Bowale. When she finally located the small gym in the heart of the village, she was very excited as she walked in. She met Bowale sweating, and there was nobody else in the gym except Bowale. "Welcome, Adaku," he said, his voice smooth. Adaku feeling a little nervous as she smiled back. Bowale gave her a brief tour, holding her hand and smiling with her. In truth, Adaku has no interest in fitness, but she pretended to be fascinated by his explanations. "What do you do with all the foods you buy?" Bowale suddenly asked. "You know, man shall not live by bread alone." He smiled. "I do give them to the poor, you know. Charity," she lied. So, that day, after getting back home, Adaku ordered that her staff should start distributing her stuff, including all her food items, to the villagers. Okon was surprised. "Madam, are you sure about this?" "Yes, I'm watching my weight," she suddenly said. Okon suddenly burst into laugh. "Madam, I've known you since I was a child. Remember we grew up together. My father drove your father. I know all about you and your food obsession. Adaku looked at Okon and said, it's like something else is consuming the food obsession. I think it's love. So the days that followed, Adaku and Bowale were always together. Bowale no longer stayed in his gym, always following Adaku on exorbitant shopping. Adaku will buy all the men's shoes and clothes, including perfumes for Bowale. I want all the cars here. So she paid millions of dollars for all the cars. Bowale couldn't believe his eyes. That day, Bowale took her to his parents, introducing her as the lady he wants to marry. But Bowale's parents were afraid. Where did she see this kind of massive wealth? They questioned and rejected the proposal. Bowale was sad that evening. Adaku kept on consoling him. So she said, come to my room and I will show you the source of my wealth. Okon tried to caution Adaku, but Adaku was held over ill. She took Bowale into her room and opened the wardrobe. Millions of dollars fell out, pouring on the ground. Bowale was scared. Adaku said, my parents tried to find the reason behind this, but they died trying. Okon believed this happened because my parents maltreated Motolani, a young maid that was given to my parents when I was very little. Motolani was maltreated by my parents that they wouldn't give her food for many days. Many times they starved her as punishment. One day she passed away and Motolani's parents cursed that just as my parents starved their only daughter to death, I shall die of excesses. Bowale stood in shock as the money kept pouring from Adaku's wardrobe. But instead of excitement, there was fear in his eyes. He has never seen so much wealth in one place. But what scared him more is what Adaku told him. Well, that's Okon's side of the story. Adaku suddenly concluded as she saw the fright look on Bowale's face. That night, as they laid on the bed, Adaku's eyes remained wide open, scared that when she wakes up, Bowale will no longer be by her side. When morning came and the alarm clock rang, Adaku stood up from the bed. She couldn't believe that she had slept off. She looked beside her and Bowale is nowhere to be found. She ran out of the house looking for Bowale. He raced to his gym shop, but it was locked. So she went to his parents' house. But as his parents sighted her, they started throwing the clothes and shoes and everything she has bought for Bowale. Go away! Let me see Bowale, she also demanded. After a long fight, Adaku gave up and left. When she got back home, Okon was waiting for her and said, Madam, let's go and appeal to Motolani's parents. Many years has passed. They should be ready to forgive your parents. But do you believe that Motolani's parents are the cause? Adaku said. So, she followed Okon. As they drive to the end of another village, Adaku wishes that there would be a solution to her excesses. But as they got to Motolani's house, they met Motolani's mother outside. She seems to recognize them. For the moment they came down from the car, Motolani's mother said, a child for a child. Adaku said, please, don't avenge the sins of my parents on me. Please forgive and let me live my life. But Motolani's father came out of nowhere, holding a stick and a charm. Scared, both Adaku and Okon quickly rushed back into the car and drove off. But as they drove back in silence, suddenly Okon said, I think I know what would break the curse. You remembered the day you said it's like something else is consuming the food obsession. You said you think it's love. I think another obsession like love. You know how you started giving to the homeless and the poor. You stop eating just because you were in love with Mr. Bowale. I think you can channel the excesses to love. Adaku suddenly laughed. But who will I love? Bowale ran away. He left me. Or are you available for love? At that moment, she looked at Okon, the man that has always been by her side despite knowing all her flaws. Who else could love her truly if not Okon? Will you marry me? Okon suddenly popped the question. So, Adaku married Okon, and Adaku channeled all her love in excesses to Okon. She loved the villagers so much, and people no longer buy anything, but they come to Adaku for all their needs. Adaku continued buying everything, all the food items in the market, but now she gives them to the needy, learning that we should never mistreat others as her parents did to Motolani. Instead, like Adaku, we should love everyone and show kindness to those around us. The end.